Fisher fifth graders, welcome to Friday Art with Miss Parkin. Today we are going to be learning how to draw two different types of cacti, that's plural for cactus, and I'll be leading you through a step-by-step guide that can help you practice the first time, and then you can feel free to make them in your own size on whatever paper you have at home. For this project, you'll need a piece of paper, a pencil, or some other sort of writing utensil. Pencils are what I like to use when I make art because they can erase. And when you do your final project, you might want to have a Sharpie nearby or some sort of marker that can make those more bold lines. Now, I chose to color some of mine in. You don't have to. You could just leave them simply as a black and white drawing. It's up to you. All right, why don't you pull up a chair? Welcome to Miss Parkin's home studio, and let's go ahead and get started. Here is my final project that I put together so you can kind of see an end result of what we'll be making today. The cactus on the left is kind of a short, stumpy cactus, and the cactus on the right is a taller cactus with some blooms. So let's go ahead and get started with our step-by-step video. I'm going to go ahead and grab my fresh piece of paper that's going to help me lead you through step-by-step how to create each of these cacti. So I'm going to go ahead and start with my pencil, and I'm going to show you how to first make the pots for both. So on the taller cacti, I have kind of a more rectangular pot. So I'm just going to start with a line straight across. After I do my line straight across, I'm going to do two lines down. Notice that my lines down are going a little bit inward at an angle. They're not going straight down. They're getting a little bit narrower toward the bottom. Then I'm going to connect the two with a line straight across. All right, here's how you would make the pot for the little stumpy cactus. I'm going to go ahead and again make a line straight across. Then I'm going to do something a little bit different as I bring my line down to a narrow. I'm going to make it more of a curved line, and then at the very end, I'm going to go back to a straight line again. So again, I'm going to curve inwards and then a straight line toward the bottom. We're going to make a little bit of a narrower base on this pot. So that's what your pot should look like when you're finished doing the larger cactus pot and the smaller cactus pot. All right, here's the next step. We're going to go ahead and start creating the designs on our pot. So again, you should have your line straight across, line coming in at an angle, line coming in at an angle, and line across the bottom. Line straight across, curving inward and then straight again, curving inward and then straight again, and a line straight across the bottom. Now I'm going to add some decorative designs on my vases. I think it's kind of fun. Some pots are plain, but I want these to be exciting. I'm going to draw some diagonal stripes on this first one. You can feel free to use a ruler if you want to be that precise. I kind of just go with the flow. It doesn't have to be the exact amount of lines that I put on mine. Feel free to put as many or as few as you want, or to spread yours apart farther than I spread mine. On this next pot, I'm going to do some wavy lines. So that means I'm just going to be making curves in opposite directions. So I'm going to go up and down just like a wave would. Up and down, and back up again. Down and up and up again. And that way I've made my curves kind of following each other across the length of the pot. All it takes are some straight lines and some curvy lines so far. Okay, let's keep going. On our large cactus, we've got our pot with our nice, neat striped pattern now of diagonal lines. Now we're going to make the cactus itself. For this part, you're going to think about, it looks almost a little bit similar to a popsicle. So I'm going to go up really high When I go up, I'm gonna make sure the tip of this is getting bigger than what the base is. So I'm just gonna kind of curve my line around, but making sure that my base is staying a little bit smaller or narrower than this top part here. Now I've got a pretty good looking cactus. I'm gonna add a little bit of growth on this side. Sometimes cacti grow arms that look really funny. So we're gonna leave it at that for now. And then what I wanted to add was that little bloom on top. So I'm gonna kind of just take my pencil and make these little wavy, sort of almost petal-like curves. And then I'm gonna stack them on top of each other. So now it just looks like a little bit of a scallop pattern with some curvy petal shapes. Now that I've got that part done, we're gonna move on to filling in the last bit of our cactus, and then we'll come back down to the bottom cactus. So I've got my pot with my stripes, and I've got my shape of my cactus, kind of like a big popsicle, and a little bit of growth here on the side. We call that a cactus arm. And then we've got our little petal flower pattern over here in bloom because our cactus is blooming. Now what I'm gonna wanna do is I'm gonna add the cactus needles. Cacti are very pokey, and all I'm gonna do are these quick little strokes on the side. It doesn't matter exactly how many you have. You don't need as many as Miss Parkin has. And once I've got those around the side of my whole cactus, I'm gonna come back into the middle and just kind of randomly put some cactus needles inside of my cactus body. This is what it should look like when you're finished with your drawing portion of your cactus. All right, let's jump back down to this other cactus down here. We've got my pot that goes straight across, a curvy line down, and then in, back to a straight line again, curvy line down, into a straight line, and across. Then I did those wavy lines on the inside, remember? They go up and down and up and down. And the one that I make first, I'm kind of just following that along all the way across as I go. Now to draw your actual cactus part, we're gonna start by drawing almost a petal-shaped leaf, or petal, if you will. It's just a line that kind of curves down and inward at the same time, and curves down and inward at the same time. Once we get this first bit of our cactus, all we're gonna do is take our pencil from that very top point, and we're gonna make some more curves that go outward. So I'm gonna go outward to the left, and then outward to the right. And then when I come back to my point again, I'm gonna get a little bit higher this time with my line. I'm gonna curve up and then out, and curve up and then out. It should look a little bit something like this for the body of your cactus. All right, let's keep going so that we can add our final touch with our needles. Again, the pot goes straight across, curving down and in, curving down and in, and straight across. Wavy lines going up and down, and I'm just gonna make sure and follow that same pattern all the way across my pot. Now I'm gonna make that petal design, and I'm gonna go back up to the center and out, and get a little bit higher this time and a little bit higher this time. Now you should have a little something that looks like this. We're gonna start with our needles on the outside, so you can just go along and make your quick little strokes on the outside here. Then what we're gonna do for the inside part, because they have needles on each one of these sort of curves, I'm gonna just draw some X's. That way it'll help me draw those needles on both sides in a really quick way. So I'm just gonna draw some X marks across, and then this last one over here, I'm just gonna add a few more needles because it's looking a little bit blank right there. That's my step-by-step process on how to draw two different types of cacti. We started with our different sized pots. We added some embellishments to our pots to make them a little bit more fun. Then we added our cactus plant, and then we added some of those details like the needles of the cactus. I'm gonna show my finished project one more time with all of the color. Here's my finished project. When I was done with my drawing, I went back through and I outlined each of my pots, each of my pot designs, and each of my cacti with a Sharpie marker. I would recommend once you are done outlining in Sharpie, go back with an eraser. Miss Parkin's is a pen eraser, but go back with an eraser and erase all of the pencil lines before you start coloring in. I would give your marker enough time to dry though before you go back and erase those pencil lines. And the final touch I did was I used my little mini colored pencils here to color in some of my cacti. Hi fifth graders, thanks for joining in with my step-by-step drawing this Friday for Friday art lesson. This is my finished product again, and I wanted to thank an art teacher named Caitlin Eddington. She actually created a free coloring sheet that had a whole bunch of different types of plants on it. And this is where I was actually able to get these two different types of cacti to teach you how to draw in my step-by-step lesson. So if you would like a copy of her free coloring sheet, she has a Teachers Pay Teachers store. I will put a link at the bottom where this description, video description is below, and I can link that page for the free coloring sheet. I believe in order to be a member of Teachers Pay Teachers, you can sign up for the free option, and that way it'll let you browse all of the different free things and resources on Teachers Pay Teachers, one of which is Art with Mrs. E's houseplant coloring sheet. So I will try and link that the best that I can, and thank you, Caitlin Eddington, for the idea for my step-by-step lesson today. Fifth graders, have a wonderful Friday. Know that I miss you so much, and I hope you're staying healthy and enjoying this beautiful sunshine we've been having. Bye.